side. The Temple Wildcats, of course, hosting tonight in this bi-district matchup as the officials go out on the field. And Mark, we were talking about the two teams. Let's do a little setup. 8-2 for the Round Rock Dragons. Who did they lose to?
Well, Converse Judson was a ball game that they had lost to. I believe they lost 27-0 to that ball game. And then Austin Westlake in a pretty high-scoring ball game they lost to, and they were 1-2. But since that time, they've won all of their district games, and they went 7-0, and they're really playing well, and they're on a roll.
Now, when we talk about the Temple Wildcats, they've only lost one time, Gordon.
Lost to a clean high school team that had a great game, deserved to win the game, had a great game plan, but I think Temple's learned a lot from that particular game, and it'll be interesting to see how Round Rock lines up defensively against the Wildcats, and what type of scheme and what type of strategy they have to stop the Wildcat offense.
Danny McGanny will kick off for the Wildcats, and he'll get it down to about the 10, where it's picked up. Good run back, all the way back up to about the 25 by the outstanding runner of the Round Rock Dragons. And we didn't catch his number.
That's
but
Dante Hawkins, number 28, the 160-pound sophomore that starts at split end for the Dragons.
And I believe Dana President was in there to bring him down first for the Wildcats.
Receivers split out wide to the right for the Dragons on this first play from their own 25. They hand off left tackle and were immediately smothered. Reggie Taylor, the ball carrier, and boy, he met trouble up close and personal by that solid defensive wall of Temple.
The Temple up front's going to start Mark Churchwell, Don Shea Martin, Joel Amos, and Dana President in the interior.
Pickup of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. In case you just joined us, this is a bi-district championship between the Round Rock Dragons and the Temple Wildcats. Quarterback Travis Sherpick, an outstanding passer, is going to do just exactly that. Looking for a receiver, he finds one, complete to Lewis Edwards, the 150-pound senior, a returning starter from last year. He'll pick up a first down. Tony Lott brought him down. Great play all the way out to the 42.
It's a great example of Sherpick's patience and senior leadership. He waited for his receiver to break through and then threaded the needle to Edwards for the completion.
Sherpick has thrown 1,362 yards worth of passes and scored 18 touchdowns so far this year. And on that running play, they brought the ball up to about the 43.5-yard line. And we may see changed jersey numbers and different names under a roster list at the hand of Coach Inez Perez, who's been known to do that. 2nd down and 9. Pickup of a yard on that play. Big defensive rush that time. Oh my, as we saw Danny Peebles get just stopped cold by Jonathan Berry and a whole host of outstanding players on the defensive unit. Press Thomas also in on the tackle.
Well, the Round Rock Dragons like to throw the football about 1/3 of the time normally, and their key to their game is their running game, and they run it off a wing T formation.
Receivers split out wide on both sides. They send a man in motion. Sherpick draws back, looks, chase. He's going to be sacked. Oh my goodness gracious, what a great job Dana Preston did in getting Travis Sherpick, also Joel Amos. And they sacked him all the way back to the 34-yard line.
Sherpick got real quick pressure by Joel Amos breaking through, and then a good job by Dana President keeping containment, and the two of them team up for a big sack.
It'll bring up a 4th down punting situation, 4th and 17.
Back deep for the
Armand
Wildcats.
Ramirez will be punting from his own 24-yard line. He gets a high punt, but he doesn't have much distance, and it'll be fair caught at about the 43-yard line by the Temple Wildcats. They'll have great field position, guys.
That's Damian Johnson doing a good job coming up and fielding the punt short.
First and 10 for Coach Bob McQueen's Temple Wildcats with a 9-1 record from their own 42-yard line. No, it won't be. They're going to get a 5-yard additional boost because of a penalty. 8:52 in the first period. No score here in this Class 5A Division II by-district championship. Double receivers out wide to the left. Handoff to Wilson, the fullback. Fumble on the play. Did Round Rock pick it up? They're unscrambling. Man scramble, and Round Rock gets it. Delarius Wilson, the fullback, found a hole, got all the way down to the 48-yard line. Got it popped. I'm sorry, that was Gerald Watson. And he coughed up the football. And just like that, a costly turnover for the Wildcats that'll give the Dragons new life on their own 48-yard line.
I think that was a big hit by Gabe Vasquez for the Round Rock Dragons, making a big play early in the ball game.
Receivers split out wide on both sides for the Dragons. Sherpick, quick pass out to the wide side. Tried to hit Lewis Edwards, in and out of his hands. And that was a quick release pass that time. Fairly well covered, but it was a catchable football.
Well, they tried to come out and strike quickly after the turnover, and many coaches have that philosophy. They like to put the ball in the air immediately after a turnover, and Round Rock tried to get something going in the flat. One of the things you might look for tonight, I would imagine Greg Steele is going to be around Dante Hawkins an awful lot, position man up on him. That'll be a good matchup.
Second and 10, double wide receivers on the right side as Sherpick goes around. Complete. Oh, my goodness gracious, what a great, outstanding pass from the quarterback, Travis Sherpick, as he hit Paul Beard. Complete. But that was nearly picked off.
Great catch, great concentration. Tony Lott coming in there trying to make the play, but he just missed the ball, but just a great job by the receiver.
The football is now on the Wildcat 39-yard line. First and 10 for the Dragons, and they're really coming at the Wildcats here in the early going. Another rollout pass as he tried to hit Lewis Edwards on the left side on the swing out, in and out of his hands.
Well, one of the things you notice, Cliff, here early is they're throwing the football. We thought that they only threw the ball about a third of the time. Gordon, I don't know how many pass attempts they have already, but they're coming out throwing the football.
Well, Coach Perez is trying to take advantage of the soft coverage by Tony Lott in this case, and they're in just a basic rotational secondary, and that leaves kind of a soft spot over there, but they've not been able to, you got to execute. They've not been able to complete the pass yet.
They send Lewis out wide to the left. Sherpick looking to the right, hits complete. And that time he hit Dante Hawkins, who's caught 41 passes for 825 yards and 15 touchdowns. And that's just a sophomore you're talking about. They will spot the ball at the 33-yard line. Third down, 4 for the Dragons.
Yeah,
still no score, but a turnover by the Wildcats on their first possession at midfield has resulted in the Dragons penetrating to the 33 of Temple. Sherpick, roll out. Tried it again to the left side. He did not get anywhere.
Greg Steele with good coverage on Dante Hawkins, the sophomore, split in, and once again the short route, the 5 or 6 yard route, trying to be completed by the Dragons. The Temple defense lines up about 6 yards, 6 or 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, and Round Rock's trying to hit the short pass in front of them.
Well, it was the pressure that caused the pass to be thrown a little errantly.
And they called timeout to talk it all over And as Round Rock goes over to the sidelines, they take a timeout. We will too.
The GMC Safari is already loaded with the largest standard V6 in its class and four-wheel anti-lock brakes. And now, we've dropped in a few extras, like reclining seats, air conditioning, available front and rear, a killer stereo, Scotch Guard, tinted glass, and lots more. Now, how do we load you into a Safari? With this limited time cashback offer.
See Jim Tranum, Cleo Bay, or Bolton McLaren today.
King's Daughters Hospital announces something really worth celebrating. It's the Women's Connection, a special program at King's Daughters especially for women, with healthcare services, seminars, classes, support groups, and much more. Even a special information line just for women, the Women's Connection. All kinds of services for all kinds of women. To find out more, call the Women's Connection today.
4th and 4. The Dragons will go for it. A long pass deep in the end zone. Touchdown, Round Rock Dragons. Oh my goodness gracious, Lewis Edwards on the receiving end of Travis Serbick's home run pass on a 4th down play. What a gutsy call and a fantastic reception by Lewis Edwards.
Well, that was just a great throw and great concentration on the catch, because free safety Derek Bates was there, and it just had to be a perfect throw and a perfect catch, and indeed that's what it was.
Armand Ramirez will kick it. It's up, and it's good. So the Round Rock Dragons draw first blood, and we'll be back for more right after this.
G. Willie's now has the most exciting game in Central Texas, QB1, the interactive TV game where you play along during live professional and college football games and can compete for valuable prizes nationally. Large portions of great food and a lively and entertaining atmosphere sure to please the entire family. G. Willie's, with the largest big screen TV in Central Texas and the only place you can play along with QB1, the interactive TV game. G. Willie's, just east of the mall on the Loop, Temple.
You know, I've earned the trust of these kids and their parents, and I look to people that I can trust for my will, life insurance, and recently a prearranged funeral program. I chose the people that this community has trusted for years. By planning ahead, my family is protected financially and emotionally. Trust. That's what it's all about.
For more information or our free prearrangement guide, call Harper Tolasic Funeral Home. Harper Tolasic, the wiser choice.
Welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium, following a touchdown by the Round Rock Dragons to give them a 7-0 lead. Armand Ramirez kicks it down to the 15 where it's picked up. Oh, look out. Oh, my goodness gracious. Dale Williams found a bubble and was just a half a step from going all the way for the Temple Wildcats on the return and got tripped up. But he does bring the football back up to about the 33. So the Temple Wildcats, who were stunned by the drive of the Round Rock Dragons following a turnover of a Gerald Watson fumble, now have an opportunity really for their first offensive drive, so to speak. Adrian Woodson, the quarterback, has double receivers out to the left, single receiver out wide to the right, one back. Valerius Wilson, the fullback, fumble, but I think he recovered his own fumble at the 36-yard line. And I'll tell you, those are the kind of the playoff jitters that Coach Bob McQueen does not want to see his Wildcats get into that kind of a rhythm, if you would. We have 11,312 partisan fans here, many of them blue and white for Temple, here at Floyd Casey Stadium. 2nd down and 6. Woodson, quick. Hits Dale Williams in and out of his hands.
Well, that's that quick screen Temple likes to run and has been very effective with it the last half of the season. I think it's really important at this time, even though it's early in the ball game, for the Wildcats to get something going on offense, because certainly Round Rock has the early momentum.
That's exactly what they needed coming into the game, and and getting the confidence level up, and it's definitely up after that touchdown pass.
3rd down and 6 for the Wildcats. Woodson straight drop back, looking for receivers. Pump fakes once, decides he's going to keep it. Gets past one man and drives all the way up to the 42. He's not going to have enough for the 1st down. Heads up play that time by Woodson, who found his receivers covered.
Well, the Wildcats will be looking for a good punt. Again, reminder, we've got a great return man in Dante Hawkins deep. He was returned 2 punts in the last 2 ball games, so the Wildcats are going to have to do a great job on coverage.
Richard Mata will kick from his own 27-yard line. The punt, high, long, drives the man back to about the 8-yard line. He's looking for a wall on the right side. Gets past one man, another. He may be gone. It's a foot race. He's at the 40, and he's going to be hauled down from behind at the 32-yard line of Temple. What a tremendous punt return by an outstanding Lewis Edwards effort. Finally brought down from behind by Greg Steele, who saved a touchdown.
Just found the seam, a great return, and of course a tremendous effort by Greg Steele. As you're exactly right, Cliff, that was a touchdown if Greg Steele does not make that play.
They'll spot the ball at the 34-yard line of the Wildcats, and Round Rock is on fire so far tonight. Sharp. He'll pass. Same type of pass play. Travis Sherpick tried to hit Dante Hawkins again down the left sidelines, incomplete.
That was just an excellent job. That was an out and up route on Greg Steele. And of course, they've been hurting Temple with the out route, the flat, and they were counting on the cornerback biting on that and getting a big play. And Greg stayed at home and did a super job.
Gordon, I don't know, has Temple got a 1st down yet?
No, and they've not run but 3 and a punt, 4 or 5 plays here in the 1st quarter.
6:16 left in the 1st period. 7-0 in favor of the Round Rock Dragons. Draw play. Great effort that time. Bryant Skurlock, the 150-pound senior on the carry. And he'll bring the ball down to the 27-yard line. 3rd down and 4.
Bryant Skurlock gets the start on offense at tailback. You notice that Round Rock's leading rusher, Danny Peoples, is starting at linebacker for him tonight.
3rd and 4. Big 3rd down for the Round Rock Dragons. Sherpick swings out to his left, going to try to keep it for the 1st down. He won't get it. He's going to be dropped for a loss, as a matter of fact.
That was number 85, Stephen Thompson, that dropped him. He did a great job fighting off several blocks to keep him contained on the outside.
And that brings up a critical 4th down play for the Round Rock Dragons, and they have a very definite decision to make.
4th down and 4 from the 27.
4th down and 4, and they're going to go for it. Another gutsy call. They went for 4th down the last time they had a situation like this and scored a touchdown. Travis Sherpick, a draw play. He'll get it. He'll get the 1st down. Just barely, but he does pick it up. Finally brought down by Steve Thompson.
Well, early, of course, Inez Perez is a tremendous offensive coach. Early, they're gambling, and they're being successful with it. That's 2 4th down conversions.
Ball resting on the 22-yard line of the Wildcats. 1st and 10. Sherpick looking, has all day to pass. Finally completes it right across the middle to the 15. Good gracious alive. He hit Lewis Edwards, and he had time to knit a sweater back there before he was brought down, finally by Press Thomas. But Travis Sherpick is really putting on an aerial show here tonight in Lloyd Casey Stadium.
It's 5 out of 9 with Lewis Edwards as leading receiver. He has 56 yards and 3 receptions.
They have split receivers out on both sides now. 2nd down and 3. Long count by Sherpick. Quick look-in pass. In and out of his hands. He tried to hit Dante Hawkins. Pass Thomas broke up the pass. Brings up a 3rd and 3.
Quick slant down on the goal line is a good football play, but the Wildcats are ready for it and really laid a lick on him.
The Temple Wildcats rocked and reeled early by these aggressive Round Rock Dragons, who certainly have come to play. Round Rock was beaten in a preseason scrimmage by the Temple Wildcats. They perhaps are looking for a measure of revenge. Again, double wide receivers out on the left side. Sherpick looking that way. Instead, he'll throw a screen pass to the right side, and it may be good for a touchdown. No, sir. It's complete down to the 1-yard line. And that time, Sherpick hit number 35, who we do not see listed on the playing roster for Round Rock. Young man must be a mystery player, brought down by Derek Bates.
Well conceived, well executed play, screen pass, just a tremendous job of executing by Round Rock.
1st and goal for the Dragons from the 2-yard line. Travis Sherpick sneaks over. Does he make it? And they're going to say he did not make it, but he's oh so very close.
The ball is just right up against that goal line. I don't know if you can get any closer than what they are right now.
Second down, less than a yard for the Dragons, knocking on the Wildcats' goal line. Tight formation. Sherpick sneaks it over. Does he make it? And he does. Touchdown, Round Rock Dragons. And the Temple Wildcats are looking at a 2-touchdown deficit with 3:16 left in the first period. What a strange turn of events for Coach Bob McQueen's Wildcats, who are going to have to overcome some obstacles here in this first period. Armand Ramirez will try the extra point. It's up. And it's good. So as they come back up the field, our score, the Round Rock Dragons 14, the Temple Wildcats 0. We'll be back for more right after this.
It's taken nearly 80 years for the automobile industry to create one of the most frustrating experiences of a lifetime, buying a new car, and only a couple of months for Johnson Brothers Ford to change it. It's gone from an annoying game of wondering what the dealer is really willing to sell the car for, to walking the lot, seeing the discounted prices on the windshields, picking your color and options, and taking it home knowing you got the same great price as your neighbor. It's called one pricing, and it'll change the way you think about buying a new car. And only Johnson Brothers Ford has it.
Cliff Brown, Mark Jernstedt, and Gordon Marshall here at Floyd Casey Stadium with 3:16 left in the first period. A very surprising turn of events as the Round Rock Dragons hold a 14-0 lead over the Temple Wildcats. And Coach Inez Perez's crew has done nothing but play perfection football, particularly passing, Mark.
Well, they really have, and if you break down the quarters into 4 quarters, so far with 3:16 left, Round Rock's got off to a great start here in this first quarter.
Ramirez kicks a squib kick. It'll be fielded. Oh, it's a foot race. It is a foot race for a touchdown. He may or may not make it. Is he going to? Dale Williams is going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. He found the hole in the seam, burst through the bubble, and it was off to the races. It was finally brought down by the kicker, Amon Ramirez, and Gordon, that's the kind of shot in the arm that the Wildcats needed.
Well, they need it because up to this point, Round Rock has dominated the ball on offense, ball possession, but that's just the big play they need to get focused and get back in this contest. Plenty of time left, Cliff.
And that may have awakened, if you would, the Temple Wildcat offense as they have the ball on the Round Rock Dragons 5-yard line. Woodson hands off to Wilson. He'll go in for a touchdown. And just like that, the Temple Wildcats come right back in
Wildcats have been behind before this year at Converse Judson. They were behind 21-7 going into the third quarter, and then against Odessa Permian they were behind. So they certainly aren't going to panic here early in the ball game.
Coach Perez's strategy on the kickoff, the pooch kick, backfired on him. You know, that happens so many times. You see that once that ball bounces a couple of times, it's like the defenders just kind of lose their intensity or break down in their lane responsibility, and Dale Williams with a big return.
Again, his kick is good. So with 2:59 left in the first period, it is now a 14-7 lead by the Round Rock Dragons as the Temple Wildcats get on the scoreboard. Going back to the previous drive by the Dragons, it was very impressive, Gordon.
Well, I've been impressed with Travis Sherpick's poise and composure and ability to throw the football. He is not the same person that I remember seeing in the scrimmage before the season. And I'm sure the Wildcats probably have the same opinion of him after the first quarter here.
You know, I guess, Cliff, the game before this one was 42-35. Right now we've got 21 points here with 2:59 in the first quarter, so a lot of action.
It seems to be a contest that may have a lot of high scoring. We earlier today saw a high scoring Division I bi-district playoff between Waco and Bowie. 42-35 that final, with Bowie taking the victory. But the future is now for the Wildcats as he kicks off. McGannis' kick is taken at about 12-yard line. And he's going to be pushed back. You talk about a swarming effort on the part of the kickoff coverage team by the Wildcats. They are certainly fired up now.
Well, there was a whole bunch of Wildcats on the tackle. Just to name a few, James Wright and Noah Dunham were down in that pile.
Great containment of Dante Hawkins. The Round Rock Dragons is excellent return person.
Travis Sherpick looking, passes, nearly picked off. Oh boy. You talk about Tony Lott heading for pay dirt. He was headed for the end zone and he been able to hang onto the football. He was trying to hit Lewis Edwards, and they tried that play 2 other times before, I believe. That's not, you know, that's one of those gambling plays for both sides.
Well, yeah, the gambler that time was Tony Lott. Did a great job of anticipating that flat route. They'd thrown that route numerous times, 3 or 4 times previously. Tony Lott read it perfectly and broke on the ball to break it up, almost with an interception.
Travis Sherpick will hand off to up the middle. This time he gave it to Gerald Johns.
Ball carrier number 4, Gerald Johns.
Johns will bring the ball up to about the 30. Let's see where they spot it. Actually, they're going to spot it at the 30.5-yard line. It brings up a 3rd and short situation. 2:20 and counting down here in the first period. There's been a lot of fireworks already. We have still 3 quarters to go. And here's a big 3rd down from the Wildcat standpoint. If they can hold them here, they can get pretty good field position on the punt. They've got to do that. They've got to hold them. And Sherpick swings out to his left to look for a receiver. And it's going to be incomplete, and there's going to be a flag. And they're going to say that Tony Lott interfered with the receiver there, Paul Beard.
Well, that'll give the Dragons a first down, and that'll also continue their momentum. Big play.
You don't like that to happen, that's for sure.
Gordon, I don't know what the stats are, but Round Rock, when they have run, seems to be getting, you know, pretty good yardage when they're running the football on that draw play.
Well, the past 3 or 4 rushes they have, they've rushed it successfully right in the middle of the draw play. Up to that point, they've not been real successful.
So now the Dragons have it 1st and 10. The ball is on their own 40-yard line. 1:56 showing on the scoreboard clock. In case you just joined us here at Floyd Casey Stadium, the Round Rock Dragons hold a 14-7 lead over the Temple Wildcats. Temple, highly rated all year long. Most of the year rated at number 1. Now have their hands full with Coach Inez Perez's Dragons. Sherpick hands off to number 35, who slips through a seam and gets good yardage all the way down to the Wildcat 46-yard line. David Atkins in on the tackle for the Wildcats. We apologize for not knowing that young man's number. It may be that it's Scott Miller, number 33, listed on the roster, that's been changed to number 35. Round Rock has a receiver split out wide to the right now. Fly pattern over everybody's head, incomplete. Sherpick that time didn't even have a receiver down. I think the receiver was checked, and that was Lewis Edwards. He got checked before he got down.
He did. They were trying to run out and up again because Tony had bit so quickly on that pass play before down. They were trying to get Tony on out and up, but Temple was in the perfect defense. They had a zone defense call that time, and Derek Bates had the deep outside, so a great defensive call by the Temple coaches.
Second down and 10 for the Dragons. Again, they have Dante Hawkins out wide to the right. Sherpick looking, passing, complete, fumble, picked up, recovered by the Wildcats. They ruled that he hit Lewis Edwards, and Lewis Edwards got the football and then was hit and fumbled it. Derek Bates picks it up. What comes around goes around for the Wildcats. Now they have the ball back on their own 42-yard line. A big turnover.
I believe that hit was by Derek Bates. Cliff, he calls the fumble. I'm not sure who got in on the ball. I know Jonathan Berry was around the football, but that was a big hit by Derek Bates.
And now it's going to rest with the offense of the Wildcats, who have really yet to get uncorked and get moving. And I know that's what Coach Bob McQueen wants, as we see Adrian Woodson take the snap, hands it off to, no, he keeps it around the right side. He's got a lot of running room, gets past one man, drives all the way down to the 45. What a great keeper.
I believe that's a little new look for the Wildcats, Cliff. I don't believe we've seen that play all year. That's a bootleg off a dive play, and it caught everybody by surprise. We thought Delarius had the football inside.
Delarius made a great fake that time, and he fooled not only the Round Rock Dragon defense, he fooled us up here in the booth. We're about 6 miles high above the stadium, it seems. First and 10 for the Wildcats. Wilson has the call, got some running room. Oh, and he's finally tripped up, but not before he gets all the way down to the 31-yard line of the Round Rock Dragons. And just like that, in 3 plays, they make a tremendous surge toward deep territory of the Round Rock Dragons. Brandon Greenberg finally tripped him up.
You're right, Cliff. They really haven't gotten untracked, hadn't had an opportunity to get untracked, and they're only behind 14-7, so I know they're feeling good.
Draw play up the middle, got running room. Wilson drives down to the 21. He'll pick up a first down, I believe. And now you can see the offensive momentum. We talk about intensity, we talk about rhythm in high school playoff games and with teams. You're seeing it right now on the part of the Wildcats.
Well, Gordon mentioned earlier that they were behind 14-0. I don't believe they had the ball but 4 or 5 plays, so they're just getting in sync.
That's it. In 3 plays this drive and 3 first downs.
A lot of fireworks here in the first period alone as the clock counts down with 18 seconds left in the first period. Handoff. Wilson gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. He may get down to the 19 before they mark it, but that's going to be the last play of the first period. And as the clock slowly counts down and they change ends of the field, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be right back for the second period right after this.
What's different about King Saver?
We're your hometown grocer.
And you can depend on us for the freshest meats and produce in town at famous King Saver prices.
Special cut of meat, no problem.
You're the king at King Saver, so we offer check cashing, money orders, and next-day film developing.
And custom party trays.
And at King Saver, you can rent the latest first-run movies at the best price in town. Remember, when you want fresh for less, stay with your hometown grocer, King Saver, in Temple and Killeen.
Welcome back to the second quarter of action here in Floyd Casey Stadium. And when we say action, we want to emphasize that word. The Wildcats of Temple have suddenly caught fire on offense, have driven the ball down to the 19-yard line of Round Rock in what they hope will be a tying score. They trail 14-7. A very quick, a very exciting, and a very up and down the field type first period.
Well, let's mention the offensive line because they've done a great job on this drive. John Meldy, Mike Lawrence, Jimmy Popelko, Mark Beards, Russell Dolgener, and the tight end Scott Marvick. And Joel Amos is in there quite a bit. He's in there right now at left tackle.
Double receivers at the top of your screen for Temple. Woodson swings out that way. Looks for a receiver, going to keep it. Finds a running room, gets past one man, gets past another, drives on second effort, and just makes simply a great run all on his own down to the 9. They'll mark it at the 10. Eddie Vasquez made the tackle finally. But you talk about some tough running, some heads-up football. Adrian Woodson showed some there.
Well, Adrian bobbled a snap just right before the play, but made a great decision keeping the football. And Adrian's shown that strength and that ability to run all year long.
Woodson, straight drop back, hands it off up the middle. Wilson, touchdown, Temple Wildcats. They just got within 1 point of tying it up. Delarius Wilson, the fullback, made it look easy as the offensive line blew a giant hole through the defense of Round Rock.
That counterplay has been successful all year for him, and Wilson saw that little bitty seam and turned it on into the end zone for a 10-yard run.
Danny McGaniel will kick the extra point. It's up, and it is good. So it's a tie ball game with 11:32 left in the second period of play. Well, if you came looking for a dull football game, you're not going to find it at Floyd Casey Stadium. The 11,312 fans who are on hand here, most of whom are from Temple, have certainly got their money's worth so far, gentlemen, as we see Temple put together a tremendous drive.
6 plays, 58 yards. The turnover by Round Rock evens things up in the turnover department. Both teams now with 1 turnover. And not only that, the scoreboard's equal 2 here with 11 minutes and 32 seconds left in the second quarter.
Well, you know, the Wildcats have been scoring an awful lot of points the last 3 ball games. They scored 40 some odd against Cove. They scored 32 against Ellison. And then last week they scored 52 against the Bryan Vikings. So their offense is really clicking right now.
Yes, and also give credit to the Round Rock Dragons for having an explosive offense. Last week they beat the Johnson Rams, and I believe they scored 42 points themselves. So they have the ability to put points on that scoreboard. As we see Danny McGaniel getting ready to kick off.
It's Dante Hawkins back deep for Round Rock.
And he tried to keep it away from Dante, and he kicks it out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. I think they'll bring it back and do it all over again.
Well, there's an awful lot of strategy on the kickoffs right now. Round Rock has kicked the ball on the ground. The 2 kickoffs they've had to Temple, and of course Temple here is trying to kick the ball angle, kick it away. And I believe they're going to not take the out-of-bounds kick where you get it on the 30-yard line, and they're going to have Temple re-kick, and that'll show you a little bit about what kind of confidence they have in their return game.
Well, Coach Perez was down the sideline with a kicking motion on his foot. He wants to re-kick it with a returner like Dante Hawkins. And not the 30, it's the 35-yard line. So he has a great deal of confidence in his return team.
Kick is going to be taken at the 10-yard line. Looking for the bubble. He finds one hole, gets past one man, but he doesn't get to past the second man. Dana President there to make the tackle for the Wildcats at the 26-yard line, 27-yard line. So the tactic, in fact, if it worked, it didn't gain a lot of real estate for the Dragons.
Well, I believe they in essence lost about 3 yards if they'd have taken the ball on the 30, but they get a shot at making a big play. So it may be well worth it to Coach Perez, even though he may have lost a little yardage. Big hit by Dana President on that play. He hit him right between the 2 and the 8. Good, sure tackle.
Travis Sherpick, the quarterback, sends his man Lewis Edwards in motion to the right. He'll hand off to number 7, Lance Skurlock. off right tackle. Skurlock doesn't get anywhere. I'll tell you, running against the Temple Wildcat defense tonight, Gordon, seems to be a pretty formidable task for Round Rock.
Well, they've in essence really done a pretty good job, and I don't have the totals, but that's the first time that Temple defense has stopped them, though, for no gain in about 4 or 5 rushes. I'll have the totals here in just a minute for you.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. They send Edwards out wide to the right this time. Sherpick hands off. It'll go off left tackle.
Round Rock is in a little too tight end offense with only one wide receiver. They may be trying to establish the run and run the football. Round Rock does have excellent diversity as far as their yardage on their running backs. Danny People has 733 yards. Skurlock has about 400 yards, and Reggie Taylor has about 400 yards. So they've got some quality backs.
3rd down and 3 for the Dragons. Ball's on their own 34-yard line. Sherpick swings out to the right. They're going to string him out. He's not going to pick up the 1st down to bring up a 4th down punting situation. Great job by David Atkinson in stringing the play out to the side.
Boy, it really was, Cliff. I mean, that's how you teach it on the field, is to string them out, play off the blocks, and run them to the sideline, and just a super job. Back deep for the Wildcats will be Damian Johnson and Derek Bates.
Running, has a run. He has 2 men. It's a foot race. Is he going to make it? Touchdown, Temple Wildcats.
Beautiful play. That was a great move. Damian Johnson on the touchdown. The last man he had to beat, he gave him a little inside fake to the middle of the field and broke it back out. Tremendous job. There were great blocks all up and down the field on that punt return. Gordon, did you get how far that was? He caught the ball inside the 20-yard line. I'm not exactly sure how far that was, but that was over an 80-yard punt return.
Well, we talk about big plays, breaking a game wide open. That's got to be, you got to mark that one down. What a tremendous effort on the part of the punt return team.
Well, that's the second big play in the kicking game tonight. And boy, the kicking game is so important, not only during the regular season, but so important in the playoffs.
The kick is good. So the Temple Wildcats now, with 9:38 left in the 2nd period, have forged ahead for the first time in the contest by the score of 21-14. It's pretty remarkable considering they were 14 points down.
Well, it's been a tremendous turnaround. Damian Johnson was number 2 in the district this year, returning punts with 11.6-yard average. He had no touchdown returns for a touchdown, but he'd been returning all year long and just barely missing, and that time he didn't miss.
Danny McGaniel will kick off once more for the Temple Wildcats. This may be a contest on who scores last. Both of these teams showing some awesome firepower on the offense.
An interesting stat, through the first quarter and a half, Temple has yet to complete a forward pass.
Would y'all remember Michael Hardy for Waco? He had a 33-yard average in the district. Dante Hawkins kind of gives you the same feeling of excitement when he gets back there.
Hawkins is the deep man. McGaniel's kick will go right to him. And it's going to go into the end zone and out the backside over Dante Hawkins' head, actually. And what a tremendous kick. So the Dragons are going to have to start from their own 20.
That's a big play by Danny McGonigal. That denies an opportunity to one of their big weapons. He has, I believe he's got 15 touchdowns this year, Dante Hawkins.
Danny McGonigal, who is a big offensive weapon for the Temple Wildcats from the standpoint of extra points and field goals. Very sure-footed young man. So Travis Sherpick and company will start from their own 20. Handoff to Brian Skurlock. And Skurlock will get up near the 25-yard marker before he's brought down Brought down in part by Mark Churchwell and Jared Mackey. Jonathan Berry also in on the tackle.
Well, Round Rock has to feel pretty good about their ability to move the football. They've moved the football extremely well, and it looks like what they're trying to do as far as attacking the Wildcat defense, they're going to continue to try to do.
Uh-oh, we have a flag on the play, and they may have just a little bit of motion or someone lined up in the neutral zone. They're backing off the Round Rock Dragons, and boy, I'll tell you, that may be a big penalty. They'll go from 2nd and 3 to 2nd and 8. Puts an entirely different complexion on the picture.
Well, it gives the defense a little bit of an advantage. They have the opportunity to predict pass, where in a 2nd and short, you know, the offense really has a great advantage over the defense. David Atkinson is back in the ballgame tonight for the Wildcats, playing for the injured Michael Moffitt, who got hurt last week.
2nd and 8 for the Dragons. Travis Sherpick stumbles, picks up the football. He'll make good yardage. Boy, you talk about, and there's a flag on the play to boot. You talking about the making something out of nothing.
You have to be impressed with the poise of that young man, Travis Sherpick. He's been in several situations tonight where he's just kept calm and cool and made a big play.
But a penalty is going to bring it back, and the referee is saying, wait a minute, fellas, let's back it up. And once again, a critical penalty will go against the Dragons, and that's going to put an ouch in their offensive game plan.
It was amazing that Travis was able to keep his balance that time. I believe he actually had his hand down or put the ball down. He wasn't on the ground. He didn't have a knee on the ground, but kept his balance just amazingly and was able to cut up through there and make some yardage. But it's all for naught, and it looks like it's about 2nd and 10 or so.
Well, they'll mark the ball on the 19.5-yard line, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 11 situation. 8:23 and counting down here in the 2nd period. The Temple Wildcats on top of a 21-14 score over the Round Rock Dragons in the district championship game. Travis Sherpick drops straight back, looks for a receiver, gonna throw deep down the left sidelines, and greatly defended.
Greg Steele on the defense, super inside position. Dante Hawkins again going deep. Dante's got 4.4 speed, and Greg did a super job.
I can't believe I said greatly defended. What I was trying to say was it was a great defensive effort that time.
Well, he had a step. He had a step, but Greg had that inside position, and the ball would have had to have been perfectly thrown to get it in there.
Gordon, there's no question about the fact that Round Rock is just going to try to pass themselves silly tonight and continue to test the defensive secondary of the Wildcats.
They've already attempted 14 passes, and Sherpick has completed 6.
3rd and 11 as Sherpick drops back, and they're going to sack him. Jonathan Berry, I believe, in there on the sack. And what a tremendous play by Jonathan Berry, who came blazing in there and grabbed Travis Sherpick, sacked him before he could get the ball loose, and they mark it down at the 15-yard line, and that'll bring a 4th down, 15 situation.
You know, it's very true, Gordon. They've already thrown 14 times all year long. Travis has only thrown the ball 158 times. So
Amon Ramirez gets a high snap, but he gets the punt off anyway. He's left-footed, and it's going to get a good roll, actually. They'll finally whistle it dead near midfield. So about a 51-yard punt with no return, and the Temple Wildcats will open up for business at about their own 49-yard line.
What I was saying was that they've almost thrown a game's worth right now in with 7:15 left to go in the 2nd quarter.
You got to believe Coach Press felt like it was necessary to be able to loosen up this Temple defense.
Adrian Woodson calls the signals. He hands off right up the middle to Delarius Wilson, the fullback. Or was that Gerald Watson?
Ball carrier number 22, Delarius Wilson.
Gerald Watson, the 175-pound junior, was brought down by Greg Pawanka. Second down and 4, pickup of 6. Trip receivers out wide to the right this time. Hands off once again to Watson. There's going to be a flag on the play. Watson is a hard-driving fullback who alternates with Delirious Wilson. Both backs very talented. But we've got to talk it all over with all the referees down on the field. And it looks like it may go against the Wildcats. Holding. And they'll bring the ball all the way back down to the 46-yard line. You don't want a lot of penalties in playoff games because those are the critical penalties and turnovers will kill you.
Well, the Wildcats have been running the ball a lot, but look for them to go up top here pretty soon.
Second and 14. Woodson rolls out wide to the right, looking for a receiver. Tried to hit Dale Williams at about the 40-yard line. Went over his head just a little bit. Good job that time by Jeff Williams of Round Rock.
Well, Jeff really was there on the drag route and popped Dale Williams really hard. But the Wildcats are getting faced man up on the corners, and they're playing them pretty tight, so you might look for a deep ball to Damian Johnson up the sideline. We've seen that several times this season.
Here's a big third down play for the Wildcats, 3rd and 14. Ball's going to be on their own 36. High snap over the center. Woodson gets it, recovers, swings out to his left, and gets the pass off complete. Oh, my goodness, what a play.
Great presence that time by Adrian Woodson throwing to Damian Johnson. A tremendous job. It's a little short. Coach McQueen may go for it here, but it looks like he's sending the punt team in. He's playing field position. There's 5:50 left. He wants to get the football back one more time in good field position.
Let's recap the play. Woodson got a high snap, managed to scramble, pick it up, swung around to his left, and throw. You know, for a right-handed passer to swing to the left, that's not easy. And he hit Damian Johnson, and they nearly picked up the first down on it. But now Richard Motto's going to punt from his own 43-yard line on a 4th and 3. No rush. He's looking for the corner. And they're going to get an excellent roll if they can get it back out of the end zone. And I think they said no. Yes, sir. He did it. He did it. Or are they going to call it a touchback? Nope. A little confusing there by the official.
No, they called it a touchback.
There we go. Maybe it was wishful thinking on the part of the Wildcats. I don't know. We'll be back for more of it after this.
Cafe on the Square in Georgetown is a very special place. People from all over Central Texas enjoy the unique atmosphere and delicious food. After a hard day, Cafe on the Square is a great place to relax for dinner. Choose from a variety of beautifully prepared entrees, including steak, seafood, and pasta. The Sunday buffet is special at Cafe on the Square. For brunch or Sunday dinner, all your favorite dishes are prepared and served with Cafe's own original charm. Cafe on the Square in Georgetown. There's just no place like it.
It's taken nearly 80 years for the automobile industry to create one of the most frustrating experiences of a lifetime, buying a new car, and only a couple of months for Johnson Brothers Ford to change it. It's gone from an annoying game of wondering what the dealer is really willing to sell the car for, to walking the lot, seeing the discounted prices on the windshields, picking your color and options, and taking it home knowing you got the same great price as your neighbor. It's called one pricing, and it'll change the way you think about buying a new car. And only Johnson Brothers Ford has it.
5:10 left in the first half of play. Round Rock has the football on their own 20-yard line, trailing 21-14. Travis Sherpick hands off the left side.
Ball carrier number 35, Stan Pabliska.
Stan Pabliska. Chad Pabliska, we apologize. Chad Pabliska. And that's the missing missing player on the roster. We finally got his name, Chad Publiska, number 35 for Round Rock on the carry. The ball is going to be marked on the 23-yard line. Second down and 7. Receivers out wide on both sides now for the Dragons as Sherpick takes a long count, looks up, quick look in, and boy, did that nearly get into the hands of Prez Thomas, who actually got hit between the numbers by the pass. He just couldn't hold on to it. That was a 6-pointer.
It was great defense by Priest Thomas. Drops back and bats the ball down, and that was Dante Hawkins on just a quick slant over the middle. It had the cornerback beat, and if it hadn't been for Priest Thomas getting up and getting his hands on the ball, could have been a big play for the Dragons.
Well, he got in the passing lane and got in between the quarterback, kind of like in basketball. You try to read the passing lanes, and he made a beautiful play.
Third down and 7. Again, receivers out wide on both sides for the Dragons as Sherpick drops straight back. It's going to be a screen play. They've got some blockers in front of him. He's got some running room, and he'll pick up a first down as he was stopped by Press Thomas.
Well, that was well executed by the Round Rock Dragons. That's a play they ran down on the goal line early in the ball game and was successful there. But Priest Thomas got knocked down, fought off 2 blockers, and made the tackle, or that play would have gone for a whole lot more yardage.
Chad Publiska on the receiving end of that pass, and that young man we did not see at all in the game against Austin Johnson. Doing a yeoman's task here tonight for the Dragons, however. Sherpick on a draw up the middle. Hello! Priest Thomas, Jared Mackey, Donche Martin, all meeting that young man up close and personal, and they sack him for a loss. Boy, he just barely was able to get the ball in his hands before he had a face full of Wildcats.
That was a tremendous collision down there.
Second down and 14. In case you just joined us here at Floyd Casey Stadium in this bi-district championship round, the Temple Wildcats hold a 21-14 lead over the Round Rock Dragons. Now, so far, the Dragons on this particular drive have found it pretty rough going. They send a man in motion this time to the left. Travis Sherpick will swing out to his left, looks for a receiver. Great defense that time to keep Dante Hawkins from getting in by Greg Steele. And Greg Steele is having one of those banner years that everyone would like to have but seldom achieve.
Well, it seems like he's always matched up and facing one of the toughest receivers around, and again he is tonight. That was a combination play there. Mark Churchwell rushed the quarterback and got in his face and made him throw, and then a great break on the ball by Greg Steele to break that up.
Third down, 14 to go. 3:09 on the scoreboard clock in this first half. Sherpick, straight drop back, looks for a receiver down the right sidelines. It's going to be a long home run pass. Did he catch it? No, sir.
Fantastic effort by Dante Hawkins that time. And Gordon, if I'm not mistaken, they faked the screen that time and went deep.
Great play. You know, that's just a great, ingenious play. That's exactly what they did. They faked the screen and went deep and almost hit with the home run, but great defense by the Wildcat secondary.
David Atkinson.
I'm not surprised, though, with Coach Inez Perez. He's got a great offensive mind.
Damian Johnson, Derek Bates back to return the punt. Looks like the Wildcats are coming on a block.
Left-footed punter. And they will get a very good roll out of it, actually. The ball is going to be whistled in at about the 32-yard line. So following the punt by Round Rock, the Temple Wildcats will begin from their own 33-yard line. Make it 2:48 left in the second period. They hold a 21-14 lead. Now, slowly but surely, both of these teams are settling down, and you have to give the defense credit for the Wildcats for having the upper hand in the last 2 series. Of the Dragons have just not been able to get very much. Woodson to Wilson, up the middle. He drives out past the 35 to about the 37.
Ball carrier number 22.
Peoples, Danny Peoples making the tackle for the Dragons.
Danny Peoples is playing a lot of defense tonight, and you have to think that that's because of his speed and trying to contain this Temple speed, that he's playing as much defense as he is this evening.
Trip receivers out to the wide side of the field for the Wildcats. They send Wilson in motion to the right. Straight drop back, looking, passes, completes it. And that play may go. I don't know. He's still on his feet. Oh, what a run. What an incredible run.
That's Greg Watson. That's Greg Watson, number 21. I tell you what, Clip, I think he got back about where he caught the ball originally, but what a run.
He ran 16 miles laterally after he caught that ball. But give credit for his athletic ability. My goodness gracious.
I bet he broke a half a dozen tackles. That, like you said, that was an awfully long pass for a 5-yard gain.
Brings up a 3rd down in one situation. He's got to be tired after that. Wilson carries the football, finds a big hole. He'll easily make a 1st down up near midfield. Danny Peoples making the stop for the Round Rock Dragons. 1:24 on the clock. And Coach Bob McQueen he would just love to go into the dressing room at halftime with a 2-touchdown lead. I'm sure he certainly has right now.
The Wildcats have 3 timeouts remaining as well.
Trip receivers to the wide side, but they hand it off. No, a fake to Wilson. Pass right over the middle. Complete to Greg Watson. Greg Watson, the 200-pound senior, sure-handed receiver. And he'll be down to the 36-yard line of the Dragons. Now they're within field goal range.
No huddle for the Wildcats.
Huddle. Woodson, straight drop back, looking to his left. He's got man wide open, complete as he knocks him out of bounds. And he hit Damian Johnson on a quick out pattern.
Well, so far the Wildcats are looking extremely sharp in this 2-minute drill. And they have all 3 timeouts left, so they'll have a real shot at putting some more points on the board.
Gordon, we talk about rhythm, and we've said it before. Now the Wildcats are beginning to assert dominance on offense.
And quarterback Adrian Woodson now 4 out of 6 and really finding a groove now in the 2nd quarter.
2nd and 1. Receivers out on each side now wide. He faked the option, drops back straight, looks for a pass right over the middle, and does he hit him? Was that Dale Williams?
I believe that was Damian Johnson. Tremendous effort. That is also a look that the Wildcats haven't shown very much. The down-the-line option pass, they showed it a little bit a few games ago. But that was an excellent call and just a little bit low and a great effort, but it was certainly there.
Well, you've got better eyes than I did. I thought it was Dale Williams, but it was, in fact, Damian Johnson. And Damian came back to the huddle showing a little bit of a limp there. 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats. Wilson will get the call. Big hole. And Delarius Wilson will easily pick up a 1st down all the way down to the 27-yard line of the Round Rock Dragons with 40 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. And they'll again go without a huddle. And boy, that 2-minute drill seems to be working quite well so far. Woodson, straight drop back, looking, passing over the middle, just over the hands and out of reach as Jeff Williams tried to Jeff to break up that pass. That does stop the clock with 33 seconds. 2nd down. The ball is now on the 17-yard line of the Round Rock Dragons. And here come the Wildcats.
You might look for a draw here with 3 timeouts left.
Swing out to the right side. Pass in the end zone. Touchdown!
Greg Watson, a great play on the bootleg pass. Super job.
Greg Watson caught it on his knees, actually.
He did. Adrian looked like he was hit a little bit as he was throwing that football, but a tremendous job of concentrating by Greg Watson. Greg Watson had a big drive on that drive. Gordon, I don't know how much yardage that he and Adrian accounted for, but it was a lot of it.
Greg got 3 receptions 38 yards.
The kick is good. And so the Temple Wildcats now, with 26 seconds left in the first half, have taken a 28-14 lead. And boy, I'll tell you what, when you want to school a young football player in how to run a 2-minute drill, they ought to watch this game film constantly.
Well, and he's got all 3 timeouts remaining. He didn't need to use any of those timeouts. Just a super job by Adrian being the field general and directing the team.
I think that probably the odds are very high that you see a squib kick away from Dante Hawkins by the Wildcats.
Well, I think that's a pretty good
assumption, huh?
Pretty good assumption. There's 26 seconds left, and Round Rock has 2 timeouts left. So if Round Rock's able to get pretty good field position, I'm sure you'll see them go after Temple and try to get some points on the board here before the half.
The Wildcat defensive unit made the necessary adjustments about midway in the second period, while the Round Rock defensive unit has yet to stop the Wildcats once they got uncorked. And that's been the difference here in this ball game so far.
Well, the Wildcats are going to have to continue to play with intensity because they have stopped Round Rock, but they've barely missed. It's been great plays on defense. So Round Rock's just a little bit away on execution from having some big plays.
And there's the squib kick we talked about, and it was touched once and picked up by Hawkins. He's looking. He may get out to the outside. And there is a penalty on the play. Boy, what a dangerous runner Dante Hawkins is once he picks up the football. Well, and he took the kick from Danny Magana. Looked like he wasn't going to make anything, and suddenly he was headed toward the wide side of the field.
He was, but there was a host of Wildcats that got to him. I think Mark Churchwell was in there, Warwick Bonds. Just a great job of flying to the football. You can tell the Wildcats are very conscious of Dante Hawkins.
And to add insult to injury, there's a penalty against the Round Rock Dragons that'll move the ball back even further, holding against them.
I believe
so they will have to set up at about the 13 with 17 seconds left.
I believe Dante is about number 10 statewide as a receiver, and he is just a sophomore, Cliff.
Handoff off the left side.
Ball carrier number
Ryan Skurlock gets the carry for the Dragons, and they're going to let that be the last play of the first half as the clock continues to count down, and that'll just about do it. With our score, the Temple Wildcats 28, the Round Rock Dragons 14. We'll be back for all the halftime activities right after this.
Who needs UMHB?
I do. UMHB accepts military tuition assistance and GI benefits.
Who needs UMHB?
I do. I decided to go back to college, and UMHB offered the courses I needed.
Who needs UMHB?
I do. One time on campus, and I knew it was the place for me.
Who needs UMHB? You do. The University of Mary Hardin Baylor, Belton.
At King's Daughters Hospital, we deliver bouncing baby boys, bouncing baby girls, and all the joy that bouncing babies bring. King's Daughters Hospital, delivering happy babies to you.
We open our halftime show with the kittens performing a high kick routine to a number entitled Everything's Coming Up Road. the Round Rock Band to join us on the field at this time to perform a Garth Brooks number, Friends in Low Place. We continue our show by featuring the percussion and color guard to an Al Jarreau number, Since I Fell For You, followed by a reprise of Flight of the Condor. Trumpet soloist is Justin Sherrod. Wildcat.
G. Willie's now has the most exciting game in Central Texas, QB1, the interactive TV game where you play along during live professional and college football games and can compete for valuable prizes nationally. Large portions of great food and a lively and entertaining atmosphere sure to please the entire family. G. Willie's, with the largest big screen TV in Central Texas and the only place you can play along with QB1, the interactive TV game. G. Willie's, just east of the mall on the Loop, Temple.
The GMC Safari is already loaded with the largest standard V6 in its class and four-wheel anti-lock brakes. And now, we've dropped in a few extras, like reclining seats, air conditioning, available front and rear, a killer stereo, Scotch Guard, tinted glass, and lots more. Now, how do we load you into a Safari? With this limited time cashback offer.
See Jim Tranum, Cleo Bay, or Bolton McLaren today.
It's halftime with the Temple Wildcats holding a 28-14 advantage over the Round Rock Dragons in this first round of Texas high school playoffs here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. But what a remarkable turnaround by the Temple Wildcats, who saw the Round Rock Dragons start like a house of fire and hold at one time a 14-0 lead. And Mark, if you were a blue and white fan, it was looking pretty grim there in the early going.
Well, it was, but two big plays by Dale Williams on a kickoff return and Damian Johnson on a punt return really turned things around for the Temple Wildcats. And they're playing real well right now on offense, both running the football and throwing it. Had a great 2-minute drive and really go in positively at halftime.
Well, now, I know, Gordon, that the statistics will tell a better story of that turnaround by Coach Bob McQueen's team.
Well, the statistics are going to show that it's pretty close, but Round Rock piled up a lot of yardage in the first quarter in their 2 touchdown drives, one following, you recall, the turnover. The statistics are real close, 150 for Temple and 160 total yards for Round Rock. But the second quarter was big for Temple. Temple did not complete a pass in the first quarter, but in the second quarter, quarterback Adrian Woodson was 5 out of 9.
Well, there's no question that the Wildcats have begun to dominate not on the line of scrimmage, but they've made a better defensive adjustment in the last stages of the second period than has the Round Rock defensive unit.
Well, I think they're playing a little more aggressive. They were, in the first quarter, Round Rock was throwing a lot of quick outs and things in front of the defensive backs. And if you'll notice, especially Greg Steele and Tony Lott have been a lot more aggressive at attacking that short passing game. And also the pressure. Temple's gotten pretty good pressure on Sherlock, and I think that's helped a whole lot.
Now, if you're Coach Bob McQueen, what are you going to tell your team at halftime, and what kind of adjustments are you going to make? Because it seems like the adjustments that you would normally make at halftime, he made during the second period.
Well, I think you'll have to wait and see what Coach Inez Perez does at halftime, because I know Coach Perez Dragons let down a little bit in the second quarter, but again, you mentioned that the Wildcat defense really started to take control of the game. So I think Coach McQueen just says, hey guys, we're playing well, let's keep doing what we're doing. Of course, the kicking game's so important and evidence tonight, turning the game around.
We talk about some big plays and big play people. Dante Hawkins for the Dragons, always a threat. Had a pretty good first half. but he is an unleashed and untapped power that the Dragons certainly would like to see get uncorked here in the third and fourth periods.
Well, there's a lot of talent on the field tonight, and Round Rock has a lot of great talent. Dante has not really been able to get going, but he's attracting the crowd. Everywhere he goes, you can see Temple's looking for him, and it's allowed some of the other receivers to have some big plays in the ball game.
Now, we saw a lot of passing by Travis Sherpick in the first half of Round Rock, and I'm wondering if we're going to see more of the same. I would think so in the third, fourth quarters.
Well, I don't know what the total stats are, but there at one point he'd thrown 14 times already, and Round Rock normally doesn't throw but about 16 times. So I think they're going to air it out the second half. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't throw the football 40-plus times before this is over.
Well, we've got 2 more quarters of exciting playoff football coming up. We'll be back for the second half kickoff right after this.
When Ted and I first heard about prearranged funeral planning, we both agreed it made good sense. But like many people, thinking it would be difficult and time-consuming, we put it off. The professionals Ted saw made it so simple. Everything was decided in practically no time. In fact, it was so easy I did it myself. We should have done this years ago. Best of all, it didn't interfere with Ted's busy schedule.
For more information or our free prearrangement guide, call Harper Tolosic Funeral Home, the wiser choice.
Cafe on the Square in Georgetown is a very special place. People from all over Central Texas enjoy the unique atmosphere and delicious food. After a hard day, Cafe on the Square is a great place to relax for dinner. Choose from a variety of beautifully prepared entrees, including steak, seafood, and pasta. The Sunday buffet is special at Cafe on the Square. For brunch or Sunday dinner, all your favorite dishes are prepared and served with Cafe's own original charm. Cafe on the Square in Georgetown. There's just no place like it.
What's different about King Saber?
We're your hometown grocer.
And you can depend on us for the freshest meats and produce in town at famous King Saber prices.
Special cut of meat, no problem.
You're the king at King Saber, so we offer check cashing, money orders, and next-day film developing.
And custom party trays.
And at King Saber, you can rent the latest first-run movies at the best price in town. Remember, when you want fresh for less, stay with your hometown grocer, King Saber, in Temple and Killeen.
It's taken nearly 80 years for the automobile industry to create one of the most frustrating experiences of a lifetime, buying a new car, and only a couple of months for Johnson Brothers Ford to change it. It's gone from an annoying game of wondering what the dealer is really willing to sell the car for, to walking the lot, seeing the discounted prices on the windshields, picking your color and options, and taking it home knowing you got the same great price as your neighbor. It's called one pricing, and it'll change the way you think about buying a new car. And only Johnson Brothers Ford has it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the site of the Bi-District Championship here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, Texas. Cliff Brown, Gordon Marshall, and Mark Jernstad here to bring you the rest of what has so far been a tremendously exciting football game. The Temple Wildcats walked into the dressing room at halftime holding a 28-14 lead, thanks in part to an outstanding 2-minute drill that got them an extra 7 points on the scoreboard. And you know, going into the dressing room, that had to be a pleasing thing for Coach Bob McQueen as we see the Wildcats come out on the field. Gordon, we talked about during halftime the statistical facts and figures, which in fact I was kind of surprised. You said it's more even, and I certainly didn't expect it to be that way. But when we talk about dominance from the midpoint of the second period on, it's been primarily the Wildcats all the way.
Yeah, for instance, quarterback Travis Sherpick only had two passes completed in the second quarter. So, you know, and that's out of eight completions. So all the damage done by the Round Rock Dragons was basically in the first quarter. And then when the kicking game turned things around for the Wildcats, it's like somebody took their thumb out of the dike, and here it came.
Mark, we talked about what was needed by the Temple Wildcats to put the icing on the cake, and I would think that a quick strike here at the beginning of the third period would do a lot of damage to Coach Inez Perez's Dragons.
Well, the score right now is 28-14. It's anybody's ball game. If Temple can come out with a long drive and score a touchdown, and then on the next possession hold Round Rock, I think it'll definitely set the tone for the rest of the second half.
Well, you can better believe that Coach Inez Perez has made some adjustments at halftime. How well that will work, you don't know, but I would expect that you'll see pretty much the same kind of offensive game plan. It's been fairly successful for them.
Well, they had about 160 yards in the first half, which is a fine offensive output. They've been averaging about 355 yards a game, so they're a very offensively capable football team. And they had a bunch of near misses in the first half where they had their hands on the ball but couldn't pull it down. So I don't look for a whole lot different from them.
Armand Ramirez to kick off for the Round Rock Dragons.
Back deep for the Wildcats will be Damian Johnson, Derek Bates, and Dale Williams.
The kick is going high. It'll be taken down in the end zone and brought back up. Good running room, and he's tripped up at about the 18-yard line. Dale Williams just about to get it cranked up before he got tripped, and he's brought down at about the 17 or 18. So the Wildcats from Temple will have an opportunity to try once again to get on the scoreboard, but they've got a long way to go.
By contrast, quarterback Adrian Woodson for Temple completed all his passes in the second quarter. He was 5 out of 9. All those completions and all those completions, coming in the second quarters.
A man in motion to the wide side for the Wildcats. The handoff instead goes right up the middle. Oh my goodness gracious. As we saw Gerald Watson take the carry. He marches all the way up to the 27-yard line. And that'll bring a second and short situation up.
The Wildcats using a little motion themselves on that play. You use motion a lot of times to try to gain an advantage on the defense, and you saw some confusion on Round Rock's part adjusting.
Hand off again to Watson. Watson's going to cross the 30-yard line and pick up a first. So they're going to try to establish a running game right off the bat. Started out on their own, about their own 18, isn't that right, Mark?
That's right. This would be about an 82-yard drive if they can take this the length of the football field.
Gordon, how important is it for Inez Perez's defensive crew to shut the Wildcats down at this time?
Well, after the second quarter barrage, it'll be very, very important for them to make a good stand and get things turned around and get back in the ball game. I'm sure they're still shocked.
A bootleg by the quarterback, Adrian Woodson for Temple, gains outstanding yardage around the left side. And I think that's the second time we've seen that tonight, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, he picked up about 17 yards. He was able to get to the corner, and really there was nobody there, and Adrian made a great decision. He just took what the defense gave him and did a great job. And I think the Wildcats right now are running the ball well inside, and that's allowing Adrian to get to the outside fairly easily at this point.
1st and 10 for Temple on their own 46. Bootleg around the right side. He's going to pass. He's got a man wide open. Oh, my goodness.
Tremendous
effort.
Tried
to hit Scott Maravik, and Maravik actually had the football and just could not hold on to it.
Oh, that would have been a super catch, and I almost thought he made it. He did a great job of trying to maintain concentration. That time, Round Rock was able to get a little pressure on Adrian as he threw the football.
Was he wide open across the middle or what?
He was definitely open. That was that bootleg play, and I'm sure they'll come back to that very quickly.
2nd down and 10 to go for the Temple Wildcats here early in the 3rd period. They send a man in motion to the wide side. Sweep around the left end by Greg Watson. Watson's got some blocking. It's a foot race down the left sideline, and he's finally knocked out of bounds at about the 18-yard line.
Well, a great call. They were really pursuing hard, a reverse play. One thing I'd like to point out is downfield about 12, 15 yards, John Meldy threw a super block that allowed Watson to get that extra yardage. Great job by the guard, John Meldy.
Well, your passing game looks good when your running game is terrific, Gordon. Your running game, if you're a Wildcat, really looks sharp right now. They have really come out stroking in this first series on the 3rd period.
it'll be interesting to see how the Round Rock defensive line interior holds up through this third quarter into the fourth quarter. They really are outmanned weight-wise. If you look at the program weights, they're 2 defensive tackles. Now, they may be heavier than they are, but they're listed at 195. And that is a considerable amount less than what the offensive line for the Temple Wildcats goes. And so we'll see what type of beating they can sustain here and keep on top.
2nd and 7. Woodson swings out to his right. It's going to pass in traffic. Incomplete. Tried to hit Greg Watson, and boy, was well covered on the play.
Well, that was a bootleg play. I think that's a very similar play to the one Watson scored a touchdown on in the first half. But again, Adrian able to get to the outside and being able to throw on the run. And he's a very dangerous quarterback out there because of his ability to run.
Darren Henderson on the coverage that time for Round Rock. Did a great job. So a 3rd down and 7 situation. The ball is on the 23-yard line of the Round Rock Dragons, and they're going to call a timeout and go over to the sidelines. While they take one, we'll pause for this message.
UMHB is a great place to live and learn.
Hi. I like the personal attention I receive here. I know my professors, and they know me.
UMHB has a perfect location. We're Belton, halfway between Dallas and San Antonio.
The University of Mary Hardin Baylor.
King's Daughters Hospital announces something really worth celebrating. It's the Women's Connection, a special program at King's Daughters especially for women, with healthcare services, seminars, classes, support groups, and much more. Even a special information line just for women, the Women's Connection. All kinds of services for all kinds of women. To find out more, call the Women's Connection today.
On a 3rd situation, Woodson swings out to his right, looking for some running room. He can run for a 1st down. That's exactly what he's going to do. And on 2nd effort, he goes all the way down inside the 9-yard line. What a gutsy run by quarterback Adrian Woodson.
Well, again, what makes that play effective is the Wildcats' ability to run inside the tackles. They fake that ball up into the back, hitting in there, and then just a great job by the offensive line, and Adrian making great decisions. It's working extremely well right now.
Gordon, this drive started on the 18-yard line, and they've gone against the wind, and I don't know about down on the floor of the stadium, but you can look at the flags and see that there's a fairly brisk breeze going from east to west, and this is going to be close to a touchdown as Gerald Watson just bulls his way all the way down to the 2.
Tackle made on the play by number 22,
Gabe Vasquez made this tackle for the Dragons.
The wind hadn't been a factor in this drive. They've attempted a couple of passes, but have not completed one so far in this drive.
2nd and goal for the Temple Wildcats as they once again threaten to score. Midway here in the 3rd quarter, Watson, touchdown, Temple. Made it look easy off left tackle. That was clearly on that drive mark, going from the 18 all the way in for the score. They did exactly what they wanted to. They took the first possession of the 2nd half and bounced in for a score, and they had that defense out there for Round Rock on the field a long time.
They did. They made a great statement that they're coming to play the 2nd half. That time on the score, Temple had 2 tight ends and Jonathan Berry in as a lead blocker in their kind of power offense.
Danny Magana's kick is good, so with 8:51 left in this 3rd period, the Wildcat lead is now stretched to 35-14, and they seem to be, although it certainly is premature, edging ever closer to a 2nd-round confrontation against Huntsville, who won against John Tyler by a pretty impressive score last night.
Well, they did, and I think one of the keys here for Round Rock is, can Round Rock respond and answer this touchdown that Temple opened the half with? If Round Rock can come back on this drive and score a touchdown, we still got ourselves a football game.
What a drive, an 82-yard drive, 13 plays, and just a little over 4 minutes into the third quarter here.
And Gordon, that was just large chunks of real estate on the ground primarily.
That's how all the real estate came, because they did, like I said, they did attempt 2 passes, but both were incomplete. All the yardage gain came on the ground.
Pagano's kick, high, deep, will be fielded at about their own 3 by Dante Hawkins. And that young man is brought down at about the 22-yard line. Dana Precedent making the tackle. Good run back, even though he gets up just to the 22, but about a 20-yard run back.
It was a good run back, but the Wildcats are being very good about staying in their lanes on the kickoff coverage. Good job by Warwick Bonds. He was in on the tackle that time as well.
So it's catch-up time for Coach Inez Perez and his Round Rock Dragons, as we see Travis Sherpick, the quarterback. He'll hand off and try to get his man out to the outside. That's Brian Skurlock on the call. Dropped by Tony Lott. That little quick hitter, he tried to dodge inside and then weaved back out to the outside. And they're going to call offsides against the Temple Wildcats. They're talking it over with Round Rock. And they will, in fact, march it off. Tack on 5 more. And it's 1st and 5. 8:37 in this third period. The Temple Wildcats leading 35-14. They split Hawkins out wide to the right. And there's movement on the line of scrimmage before Sherpick can get the snap off. And I think the penalty that the Wildcats received is going to go right back.
Well, I think they kind of broke even on that exchange, and we're back for a 1st down and 10 again.
The dominance factor is so very, very important, and Gordon, never was it more evident in that last drive.
Well, the Wildcats dominated the line of scrimmage, but going back even into the first half, the past 4 possessions that Round Rock's had the ball, they have not escaped out of their beyond their own 40-yard line. So the Temple defense has really kept them in check.
Hawkins again split out to the wide side. Instead, the handoff goes to Skurlock. Stopped by Tony Lott. And ever so slowly, you see Tony Lott, Dana Precedent, and the defense taking over control of the fortunes of the Round Rock Dragons. 2nd and 11 now. 7:43 in the third period.
Well, one of the things you may have noticed is the pace of the game now has kind of changed in Temple's favor.
Oh, clearly the momentum is on their side. I also think that you're going to have to see a more concentrated passing attack, and here comes one of the passes right now. Great defense, but it didn't work. He gambled on the interception, and Hawkins instead, with those sure hands of his, caught the ball. Big play.
That was an outstanding catch, because I assure you Greg Steele was all over him, and he was able to get the football. Big play. That's what Round Rock needs. Round Rock needs to get something like that to get back in the football game.
Well, as we said before, it was a gamble, and he went for it, and it's a question of inches.
Well, up to that point, Dante Hawkins had only had 1 reception for 6 yards. He gets 45 yards in that one.
All the way down to the Wildcat 32-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 for the Dragons. A rush, but he's gotten the pass away. He tried to hit Hawkins again. Well covered this time by Greg Steele, who was right there beside him.
Well, Greg Steele's getting an awful lot of opportunities tonight, and he's out there one-on-one most of the time with Dante Hawkins, and he's done a great job tonight.
You're not going to burn Greg Steele very often. He's too good a football player. By the same token, give credit to Dante Hawkins, who is really a gifted athlete, tremendous receiver. Travis Sherpick, the quarterback now, drops back, looks to pass, going to throw it right over the middle, tipped, picked off. Oh my goodness gracious.
Derek Bates on the interception for the Wildcats, and I believe Priest Thomas may have been the person that tipped that ball up in the air for the Wildcats.
What a big turnaround. Just when the Dragons thought that they had something going, a great pick by Derek Bates gives the Wildcats the football back on their own 27-yard line.
It was either Priest Thomas or Dana President, I'm not sure, but it was a great job of tipping the ball up in the air, and that's the old tip drill from that point.
Woodson, hands off, right up the middle to Wilson. Brandon Johnson making the stop for the Dragons.
The Dragons are also trying to be a little more aggressive on defense. That time you saw Peoples on a blitz from the outside.
6:41 and counting here in the third quarter. Temple in command with a 35-14 lead. As Adrian Woodson brings his team up to the line of scrimmage, he'll drop straight back, gonna quick release it down the left side, complete. That time he hit Damian Johnson. Boy, that was a quick release, and he picked up a first down. I tell you what, right now, if you're Coach Inez Perez, you do not want to have your team going in a backward direction.
Well, they can't afford to let Temple have the football for the whole third quarter, which would be what it would amount to if they continue on down the field with a long drive.
Watson in motion to the right. They're going to hit Watson. He gets it complete. He's got some running room. It's a foot race. He may go. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. They'll bounce him out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. Great play. Brandon Greenberg prevented the touchdown for Round Rock. But gosh, that was a play that everybody in the stands knew who the receiver was going to be, and they still did it.
Well, that's just getting the ball to a receiver with a lot of athletic talent and letting him use his athletic ability.
Gordon, we've talked about the ability of Adrian Woodson, the quarterback, and in the last couple of games, his passing game was not as good as I know he would have liked, but he's been right on the money tonight, hasn't he?
Well, since the second quarter, he really has. He's completed 7 out of 13 passes, and that last one was good for 53 yards.
Mark, that's not a bad set of statistics to chalk up in a bi-district game, is it?
No, it's really not. And one of the important things about this is it's establishing momentum not only for this ball game, but momentum for the upcoming playoff games should the Wildcats go ahead and win this thing.
Well, how important is it to get into the playoff mode? And that's what coaches like to use. And that is a state of mind, both physically and emotionally, as you get ready to face champions. After all, it's champions against champions.
It's a rhythm. It's a consciousness of being able to be successful when you want to be. And right now, the Wildcats very much look like they have that sense on offense and defense, a sense of purpose and a sense of confidence.
Well, there's a pause down on the field because we have an injury to a player, and while they attend to that young man, it looks like he's now getting up. That was Darren Henderson who was injured on the play, but he's shaking it all off. He's going to go back across to the sidelines. And the playoff intensity, that coveted intensity that a coach wants to see his team get into, is slowly but surely beginning to manifest itself here in this bi-district championship. The Temple Wildcats looking extremely sharp. 1st and 9. 2 men out wide to the left side. Wilson gets the call, and he'll lose a yard on it.
Ball carrier number 22, Valerius Wilson, tackled on the play by number 44, Danny Peoples.
I tell you, I got a feeling that the way that Round Rock is pursuing the offensive formation, that a misdirection and a reverse play would sure serve the Wildcats well.
Well, that was a tight pinch stunt down inside, and they guessed right, but they are having to take some chances on defense to stop the Wildcats.
Woodson, straight drop back, fly pattern out to the left. Oh, in and out of the hands of Damian Johnson. And just over, I think it was over his right shoulder instead of his left shoulder. It was hard to tell from here.
Well, that'll bring up third down for the Wildcats.
Good defensive work that time by Round Rock, led in part by Scott Miller. Third down, 10 yards to go for a touchdown. I think actually they could make a first down before they made a touchdown. I don't know, maybe not. 5:29 left in the third period. Wildcats, bootleg to the left, being pursued, gets the pass off, and was lucky to get it off, quite frankly. Great pursuit by Round Rock.
Big stand by the Dragons that time, and we'll get a chance to see Danny Magana try a field goal here.
Yes, that was an important defensive stand for Coach Inez Perez's crew over there. And they're going to force field goal attempt. Danny Magana will be kicking it. And Magana's kick will cover about 26, 27 yards. The snap, it's up. And it's good. So now it's 38 for the Temple Wildcats, 14 for the Round Rock Dragons. We'll be back for more right after this.
It's taken nearly 80 years for the automobile industry to create one of the most frustrating experiences of a lifetime, buying a new car, and only a couple of months for Johnson Brothers Ford to change it. It's gone from an annoying game of wondering what the dealer is really willing to sell the car for, to walking the lot, seeing the discounted prices on the windshields, picking your color and options, and taking it home knowing you got the same great price as your neighbor. It's called one pricing, and it'll change the way you think about buying a new car. And only Johnson Brothers Ford has it.
G. Willie's now has the most exciting game in Central Texas. QB1, the interactive TV game where you play along during live professional and college football games and can compete for valuable prizes nationally. Large portions of great food and a lively and entertaining atmosphere sure to please the entire family. G. Willie's, with the largest big screen TV in Central Texas and the only place you can play along with QB1, the interactive TV game. G. Willie's, just east of the mall on the Loop, Temple.
Danny Magana will kick off for the Temple Wildcats. Following their score, he's going to kick it right down the middle. It'll be taken at the 4-yard line and bobbled. That was Lewis Edwards who bobbled the ball. They never got a chance to get any kind of a return going.
Coach Perez thought he would change up a little bit on the kickoff return. Edwards, you noticed the deep man, Dante Hawkins, had been the deep man. Magana had been kicking short and to the right, so Coach Perez instructed number 28, Dante Hawkins, to line up on about the 20-yard line. Well, the Wildcats must have recognized it because Danny Magana kicked deep that time. That put number 2 as the return man instead of Dante Hawkins.
The ball is marked on the 17-yard line of the Round Rock Dragons. Danny Magana has not missed in 2 games. He's made every extra point and every field goal, and he is certainly an added weapon to the offensive arsenal of the Wildcats. Brian Skurlock that time on the carry-off left tackle. He may pick up a yard before Jared Mackey brought him down. About 5 minutes left in the third period. The Temple Wildcats, winners of the District 13 5A crown, along with Killeen and Temple, will go into the fourth period with a fairly substantial lead. They lead 38-14 right now.
Well, Temple was indeed tri-champ, because the way it worked out, they faced the district champion Round Rock Dragons in the first round.
Travis Sherpick, quick pass, and just did he get it? Yes, sir. Greg Steele intercepted it. I thought that they were going to rule that he trapped the pass. Sherpick was trying to hit Dante Hawkins out in the right flat. And Greg Steele in there to pick it off. Another major turnover by the Round Rock Dragons. And I'll tell you what, you can see that a lot of the fire has gone out of the Dragons, and they started out so very, very strong, and really, I think, surprised the Wildcats and took a 14-0 lead.
They started out the way they had to start out to have a chance tonight, and they just let the Wildcats get going there in the second quarter, and the kicking game is really what turned this around, like we talked about.
Adrian Woodson around the right side that time, and I think they faked a reverse. Isn't that what that was?
They did. They faked the reverse to Greg Watson that they had the big play on earlier, and Adrian kept the ball.
It's too bad they faked it because he was wide open around the left side. My goodness, I thought he had the football and could have knitted a sweater before he walked into the end zone.
Well, Wildcats have showed an awful lot of poise tonight, but on both defense and offense.
2nd and 10. Wilson. No, that's Gerald Watson in there. And I wonder if Wilson is perhaps has re-injured that shoulder. He hasn't seen a lot of action, certainly in this period. We'll try to get an injury report on that. Ball is resting on the 23-yard line of Round Rock. 3:04 left in the third period. Wildcats once again in the driver's seat. Double receivers out wide to the left this time. Drop straight back, flushed out of the pocket. And now he's got to let it go. And actually, he just unloaded the pass that time. Good pass rush by the Dragons.
They did, but they came with everybody but the kitchen sink that time, Cliff. There was an all-out blitz, and they had to get pressure to make the big play. And again, the Round Rock Dragons defense rises the occasion, and Temple's going to be forced to take another field goal attempt.
I tell you what, you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. If they try that again, and when the Temple Wildcats have just one receiver in the open, it's 6 points. Again, Magana, and Magana will be trying from about the 42-yard line. It'll be a 42-yard kick, and it's going to be good. A 42-yard field goal by Danny Magana with 2:40 left in the third period.
Well, there's a flag down on the play. That was a great kick by Danny, but it's offsides against Round Rock.
It'll be an interesting
and it'll still be
situation.
4th down, so I think the Wildcats have declined the penalty.
That's
yes,
right. So 41-14, the Round Rock Dragons trail the Temple Wildcats. It's been all Temple from about midpoint of the second quarter on. Didn't start out that way though. And Gordon, you were absolutely right. The Round Rock Dragons needed to maintain that intensity that they showed from the opening kickoff, and unfortunately for them so far, they have not been able to do it. You don't want to write them off. There's a lot of football left, but they have absolutely got to catch fire very quickly, or it's going to be, the lead will be unsurmountable.
Well, they came up with some real big plays in the first quarter, and that's what they need right now to get back into it if they have a chance to right here with just a couple of minutes left in the third quarter.
Danny Magana, who's been a busy young man tonight, is going to kick off once again.
Back deep again, Hawkins. And he'll be the return man this time.
He'll take it at his own 3, shows a burst of speed, finds a bubble, and a tackle by Tony Lott saves a touchdown. Absolutely saved a touchdown. Dante Hawkins plays it so well on the kickoff return.
Touchdown saving tackle by Tony Lott, and that'll give you an idea why they've been so concerned about kicking the football to Dante Hawkins.
Just a step away from that big play that we talked about for the Dragons. Great play by Tony Lott.
The Temple Wildcats hopefully headed toward round 2 in the state high school playoffs. Travis Sherpick, the quarterback for the Round Rock Dragons. Drops straight back, looks to his left for a receiver, has all day, and it's going to be incomplete.
Incomplete to Dante Hawkins. I believe actually who he was trying to throw the football to was Lewis Edwards at that time, but Dante came over and made a play on the ball. There is a flag down on the play.
The referees say, hold it just a minute. And it's a penalty against the Dragons. Well, fellas, when it rains, it pours, and for the Dragons, it began going downhill midway in the second period, and it's continued that way. And give credit, as you said, Mark, to Coach Bob McQueen's team, and a lot of that credit should go to the defensive coordinating efforts of Don Davis, because his team, his crew, made the adjustments to shut down Round Rock. Once they did that, the offense got untracked.
And they are getting stronger as the game goes on and playing extremely well.
Well, they'll mark the ball all the way back to the 15-yard line, where it's a big 1st and 25 for Round Rock. Receivers out wide, split on both sides. Sherpick, straight drop back. Looked to try to throw a screen pass. The receiver was covered. He forced him to run with the football, and he's going to get up to about the 19-yard line. That was a screen over here to the left side. Jonathan Berry, a big factor on that play for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Stephen Thompson and Jonathan Berry read that screen all the way. I think that's at least the 3rd time they've thrown the screen, and then they faked the screen on another play. So Temple's definitely looking for that.
You know what we haven't seen? We haven't seen any trick plays, and I thought we'd see at least one from Coach Inez Perez. He's famous for them. But I would imagine that with the score 41-14, and he is on the losing side, he's trying to concentrate on big plays and fundamental football.
Second down from the 19-yard line.
Second down and 21. Travis Sherpick, straight drop back, has a lot of room, looking for a receiver. And it's nearly picked off.
Greg Steele again on defense. Dante Hawkins, that time, Sherpick tried to look off, and he was definitely going to Dante Hawkins all the way, and just a super job of discipline by Greg Steele staying with the receiver.
One of the problems that the Round Rock Dragons seem to have tonight is that they've gone almost exclusively to Dante Hawkins in the passing department. And as good as he is, the kind of coverage that he's been getting from the defensive efforts of the Wildcats makes it somewhat of a one-dimensional attack.
Well, statistically, Hawkins had 15 touchdowns.
There's a timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. We'll be back. Stick with us.
The GMC Safari is already loaded with the largest standard V6 in its class and 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. And now, we've dropped in a few extras, like reclining seats, air conditioning, available front and rear, a killer stereo, Scotch Guard, tinted glass, and lots more. Now, how do we load you into a Safari? With this limited time cashback offer.
See Jim Tranum, Cleo Bay, or Bolton McLaren today.
Cliff Brown, Gordon Marshall, and Mark Germstead here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, Texas. And if you're a fan of the Temple Wildcats, you've got to be very, very happy. They hold a commanding 41-14 lead over the Round Rock Dragons. And we have 1:13 left in this 3rd period. Still a full quarter to go. Round Rock now facing a 3rd and 21 from their own 19-yard line. They need to come up with a big play pretty quickly if they're going to get back in this ball game. Instead, they fumble the football on the snap. Travis Sherpick, the quarterback, bobbled it, but I think he recovered it. That's not what you want to do, and that's going to bring up a 4th down punting situation.
Number 8, Travis Sherpick. 4th down.
When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. Right now, the Round Rock Dragons are as cold as the nippy wind blowing from east to west here at Floyd Casey Stadium.
Well, since the the Round Rock fumble back in the, what was that? Was that the second quarter? They've not penetrated their own 40-yard line yet.
Good punt this time by Amon Ramirez. No return. It's fair caught, and the Wildcats, under the leadership of Damian Johnson, who caught the punt, will now start from their own 38-yard line.
That's except for that 43-yard pass to Dante Hawkins. I'm sorry, they did get the Temples into the field one time, but they didn't have a one play past that because Derek Bates came up with a big interception after that. The Temple defense has really taken charge of things since the second quarter.
We have 29 seconds left in the third period. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Mark, I got to believe a touchdown at this point will put it certainly away. Flags on the play. Call went to Delarius Wilson. I thought Delarius was injured. He surely didn't look like he was injured on that play. I think it's just smart play calling by Coach Bob McQueen, who alternates Delarius with Gerald Watson. Boy, when you got a combination like that, that's an envious position. I know a lot of coaches across Texas who would like to have two gifted backs like that.
Well, they complement each other so well, too. Of course, Delarius is a smaller back and great acceleration and speed, and Gerald's got great acceleration, but he's a very strong runner.
1st and 15 after the penalty. Woodson looks like he's calling an audible. Straight drop back, looks, he's got a lot of running room on the left side. Yes, sir, he punched a blocker. He's going to pick up a first down and finally knocked out of bounds inside the territory of the Round Rock Dragons. They'll spot the ball at about the 40, maybe the 41-yard line of Round Rock. And I'll tell you what, the Dragon defense has been on the field most of this half. They got to be getting tired. More importantly, is that it's eating up the clock. That you know, ball control is a big factor here for the Wildcats right now. Watson in motion to the right, but they hand off straight up the middle. He's got a mile of running room. Delarius Wilson swings past one man, fights off another, and is finally brought down at the 19-yard line. Oh, how many ways can the offense score for Coach Bob McQueen? And they're firmly in control of this football game.
Well, I believe the quarter's going to run out, and they'll go into the fourth quarter with a great opportunity to score.
That's it, the end of the third quarter with our score, the Temple Wildcats 41 and the Round Rock Dragons 14. We'll be back for the final quarter right after this.
What's different about King Saber?
We're your hometown grocer.
And you can depend on us for the freshest meats and produce in town at famous King Saber prices.
Special cut of meat, no problem.
You're the king at King Saber, so we offer check cashing, money orders, and next-day film developing.
And custom party trays.
And at King Saber, you can rent the latest first-run movies at the best price in town. Remember, when you want fresh for less, stay with your hometown grocer, King Saber, in Temple and Killeen.
It's the beginning of the fourth and final quarter here in Floyd Casey Stadium as Temple holds a 41-14 lead. And they have the ball on the Round Rock Dragon 20-yard line. What better scenario could you paint for Coach Bob McQueen, who looks like he's headed toward round 2 of the high school playoffs? Adrian Woodson, the quarterback. Straight drop back, looking for a receiver. Thought he had Damian Johnson. It was just a little bit over his head. Mark, last year, the Temple Wildcats kind of snuck up on people and got into the playoffs. How far did they go?
Well, they were defeated by Dallas Carter in the third round of the playoffs. They'd won their first 2 ball games, and I believe it was right here, wasn't it, Gordon, here at Baylor Stadium, in an excellent ball game.
21-0. Carter won, and they had quite an outfit.
Handoff to Wilson, who finds a hole. He may go in. They're going to bring him down, but somebody grabbed a hold of his face mask, so they're going to add a penalty on top of the run. Wilson was brought down at about the 7-yard line.
Well, you really have to take the games in the playoffs one game at a time, but I think everybody on the Wildcats team has an ultimate goal that they'd like to achieve, and that's win the state championship.
You know, the opponent that the Temple Wildcats will face next week, and we understand it's going to be next Friday night in Bryan College Station, is at Kyle Field, is going to be Huntsville, who beat John Tyler this weekend, and they are the Cinderella team this year in Class 5A. They weren't expected to do well, yet here they are.
Well, I understand they throw the football a lot. I don't know a whole lot about Huntsville other than like to put the ball in the air.
Wilson met at the line of scrimmage and stopped Cole by a great effort on the part of, I believe, 77, Travis Ling.
Tackle made by number 76, James Palazzo.
Well, shows you what I know. I just heard the PA announcer, and he gave us another number. One thing we do know for sure is that the roster does not correspond with the scouting report for Round Rock. It's a moot point for the Wildcats. They have been in command since the midpoint of the second period. Bootleg around the left side. He's going to pass it.
Tried to hit Priest Thomas. Priest Thomas doing a little double duty that time. Came in at tight end for the Wildcats. Normally, of course, the Wildcats linebacker.
You know, I saw Priest Thomas on the receiving. I didn't believe my eyes. I said, wait a minute, we have a defensive player and he's out there trying to catch a pass. He's a very talented athlete. And now Coach Inez Perez is going to call a timeout on the play. 3rd down and goal to go. Ball on the 4-yard line. You know, you talk about the Huntsville team and how they do a lot of passing. Certainly the coach ought to know about the passing game. He's had 2 major college prospects, and both were his sons who played quarterback in Huntsville. They've been a playoff perennial power for a number of years, but I don't see how they could do any more passing than what you see here tonight on the part of the Round Rock Dragons.
Well, I don't know, Gordon, do you know how many total passes have been thrown in the ball game this evening?
22 by Round Rock and 17 by Temple. What's that, 49?
39.
39, excuse me.
Yeah,
pretty cold up here.
Yeah, and fellas, I got to tell you, you're not going to see many more passes than what we've seen so far. And remember now, we're early in the 4th quarter. The Temple Wildcats hold the distinction of being ranked #1 in the Curious Poll rankings. 3rd down and 4. Adrian Woodson looks over the line of scrimmage and calls an audible. Takes a snap, and he's going to keep it on the quarterback option and score. Touchdown Temple. Great audible call by Adrian Woodson, the quarterback.
Well, I was gonna say before Mark asked me that hard question that we might want to look and expect the option. That's one of the favorite plays of the Wildcats down on the goal line in clutch situations. You warn me before you ask me such a hard question.
I guess I caught you without your calculator, Gordon.
Well, we're laughing up here in the booth because it has become progressively more crisp, as we like to say, and the wind has picked up. I think that's the biggest factor. The kick is good. Danny Magana's extra point kick makes it 47-14 with 10:40 left in the game. Turn out the lights. The party's over for Coach Inez Perez and his crew for this year. They'll finish the regular season with an 8-3 record. And while we're not discounting the fact that they can come back, it would be very difficult for them to come back for 34 points, you know, with 10 minutes left in the game. You got to be realistic about it and give credit where credit is due. The poise by the Temple Wildcats when they were behind 14 points speaks volumes. The last time you saw that happen, they played Converse Judson in San Antonio, Texas, and they made a tremendous come-from-behind victory. And you saw the same kind of thing here tonight.
Well, one of the things you get from a schedule like Temple has played is poise and confidence, and the ability to come back. And that Converse game will be with them for the rest of this season, and probably with these younger players who are juniors and sophomores for the years to come.
Well, Coach Bob McQueen has made no bones about it. He loves to play the big game. Danny Magana's kick is going to go back into the end zone and be down for a touchback.
Coach McQueen has got to be pleased with the kickoff coverage, and Danny's kicking off. It's really been outstanding to keep Dante in control.
Interesting to note about Danny Magana and his field goal kicking ability. He had not even tried one until 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe he hit his first one against Ellison, and he made two that game, and then last week against Bryan, and then again tonight. He's kicking the ball really well.
He really is. 1st and 10 for the Dragons as Travis Kerfick, the quarterback, draws back, looks, gets rushed, gets the pass off, and it'll be picked off, I believe. Yes, sir. Tony Lott picked it off.
And that's Tony's 3rd interception of the season. If it holds up, there's a flag down.
I didn't see the intended receiver, but I think it was probably Dante Hawkins.
I believe it was Lewis Edwards that time going against Tony Lott on a post pattern, but the play will stand. Temple will get the football, and the Wildcats will take over on about the 48-yard line.
That's the Wildcats' 3rd interception of the night. One for Derek Bates, one for Greg Steele, and now a 3rd by Tony Lott.
Gordon, how many first downs have the Round Rock Dragons got in the second half?
We got 1 first down in the second half. That was that 45-yard pass down here to Dante Hawkins.
That's what I thought.
And interesting, the past 6 possessions, 3 plays fumble, 4 plays punt, 6 plays punt, 2 plays, which included that 45-yard pass, interception, 1 play is interception, 3 plays punt, and now 1 play interception. So the defense is really doing an outstanding job by the Wildcats.
Woodson going to throw the home run ball. Got a man wide open. Oh, Damian Johnson wide open down the right side. Beautiful. And that was a home run ball all the way, and he gets tackled at what, the 3-yard line.
Beautiful throw, well executed. Great job by the Wildcats. Kenneth McGee came in at left tackle for the Wildcats, as well as I believe Michael Pignon is in there at left guard, and just a great job by the offensive line giving him protection to throw that football.
Actually, there wasn't anything fancy about that play, but the fact is Damian Johnson got behind the defensive secondary, and actually it was a great strike on the part of Adrian Woodson. He's having a great night, isn't he?
Doing real well. He's 8 out of 18, but 2 real big plays, a 53-yarder to Greg Watson, and now a 55-yarder to Damian Johnson.
I believe his night is over. Warwick Vaughns looks like he's going to check into the football game. We've got several players coming in the ball game. Mike Coyle is in. I believe Chris Korn is in. We've got Darrell Smith in at a receiver. Tracy Ball has checked into the ball game.
If you were a loyal blue and white Wildcat fan and you had just arrived at the stadium about 3 minutes deep into this football game, you would be in total shock because your Wildcats would be behind 14-0. And oh my, what a turnaround since that time. The score is 48-14, and Gordon, my goodness, how much more dominance can you achieve?
Well, you know, defensively, offensively now, that's just almost at will.
Neville Malone is checked in the ball game at the fullback position.
Vaughns hands off to Malone, and he's going to get stopped at about the 4-yard line. Straight handoff that time. You're looking at the face of the future for the Wildcats. Some very talented players on the field.
Horace Tisdale is checked in the ball game.
Second down and go. Warwick Vaughns gonna keep it. Gets down to about the 1-yard line before he's brought down by Brian Jones.
Fine effort by Warwick Vaughns that time. Jeff Thompson is also in the ball game in the offensive line.
A happy night for the Temple Wildcats, who will walk away as by-district champions and head for round 2 of the playoffs. Warwick Vaughns will hand it off to Neville Malone. Neville is going to drive, and did he cross the plane? Referees have not given the signal yet.
It's got to be extremely close. He was just right up against that goal line.
Neville Malone was stopped inches, and I do mean inches shy of the goal line. And that's going to bring up a 4th and goal, and you know they're going to go for it. Got nothing to lose. And I would anticipate that you would see the call going to Mr. Neville Malone again, Mark. I was correct, and it's a touchdown for the Temple Wildcats.
He really blasted in the end zone that time.
So the second unit gets the score, but it was Adrian Woodson's pass to Damian Johnson that set it up, as the lead is now increased to 54-14. And Magana will get ready to kick his extra point try. It's up. And it's good. It's 55-14 with 8:13 left in the 4th quarter. We'll be back for more right after this.
It's taken nearly 80 years for the automobile industry to create one of the most frustrating experiences of a lifetime, buying a new car, and only a couple of months for Johnson Brothers Ford to change it. It's gone from an annoying game of wondering what the dealer is really willing to sell the car for, to walking the lot, seeing the discounted prices on the windshields, picking your color and options, and taking it home knowing you got the same great price as your neighbor. It's called one pricing, and it'll change the way you think about buying a new car, and only Johnson Brothers Ford has it.
A beautiful, crisp fall night here in Waco, Texas. And for the Temple Wildcats, an outstanding night of football. They lead 55-14 in this bi-district matchup with the Round Rock Dragons. And after a first quarter surge by Coach Inez Perez and his crew, the Wildcats have taken over and pretty well dominated the contest. The second half has been all Wildcats. And they've just scored a touchdown. There's a short kick by Danny Magana, and a quick return, but it won't get very far. They'll set up shop at their own 34-yard line.
Believe it or not, this is the best starting field position that Round Rock has had since that great punt return early in the first quarter, where they set up shop on Temple's 34-yard line. Other starting points all inside the 30-yard line for the Dragons.
Richard Mata is in for the Wildcats.
He's got all day to pass it. He gets it complete. Travis Sherpick hits Dante Hawkins.
Perfect pass complete to number 28, Dante Hawkins. Tackle made on the play by number 23, James Wright.
James Wright making the tackle for the Wildcats. That'll pick up a first down for him.
Alton Berry is in for the Wildcats. Gary Lyman is also in the ball game.
Second first down in the second half for Round Rock.
An incredible statistic as Travis Sherpick looks for a pass, completes it.
Big hit by Noah Dunham, along with a host of Wildcats. Tim Alexander's in at cornerback. Tony Boehm checks in.
Dante Hawkins on the receiving end of that pass picks up another first down. And Gordon, you're right. That's interesting to note. That's only their third first down of the second half. You don't dominate much better than that. Ball's on the 43-yard line of the Wildcats. Sherpick again to pass, same pass pattern. He's got a man loose. Hits Hawkins again. James Wright brings him down. And they go back to the well for the second time. They work to perfection. Pick up a first down on the Wildcat 23-yard line. Should they score, it will be somewhat of an academic touchdown for Coach Inez Perez. However, his team has not necessarily quit so much as they've been dominated by the Wildcats. They'll finish the year with an 8-3 record. Draw play right up the middle. That time going to Barrett Eaton.
Ball carrier number 32, Barrett Eaton.
Well, it's a real challenge for the sophomore, James Wright, out there at cornerback. He's out there kind of all alone with Dante Williams out there on the corner.
That is a challenge, isn't it?
Dante Hawkins.
You got to remember that Dante Hawkins is also a sophomore.
Well, that's right.
And boy, does that young man have a future ahead of him. 2nd and 4. Serpic looking, passing right over the middle. It's going to be almost picked off. So very close that time by Richard Mata. Mata not only plays defense, he's the outstanding punter for the Wildcats. And Travis Sherpick, I don't know what his pass ratio is now, but at one time he was looking very crisp, but defense really shut him down tonight.
12 out of 26 to this point.
3rd and 4, he drops straight back, looks for receivers, can't find anybody. He's going to scramble, and he may go in for the touchdown. He makes it with a head-over-heels leap. What a gutsy call and a gutsy run by a young man who just refused to quit. Travis Sherpick scores for the Round Rock Dragons.
Great effort by Travis, and Round Rock looks like they're going for 2 points here. Travis really took a shot down on the goal line.
Took a shot and did a somersault, actually. 5:23 left in this football contest. It's now 55-20. You're right, Round Rock will go for 2. Sherpick sends a man in motion to his left, swings out, looks for a receiver, and it's good. He passes, and that time he hit Brian Skurlock for the 2 extra points. So a 30-point lead by the Temple Wildcats. And I would say the odds are fairly high. You're going to see an onside kick.
Well, I think Coach McQueen agrees with you. He's got the onside kick team there on the sideline getting ready to check into the ball game.
Got everybody up front, including the trainer and the mascot.
Well, and you like to have those receivers and quarterbacks and defensive backs, people that are used to handling the football up there on the front line.
Armand Ramirez to kick off for the Round Rock Dragons. It's been a great night of football for the Temple Wildcats, who've had a very productive evening after a slow start.
Deep for Temple, number 25, Dale Williams, and number 32, Gerald Watson.
Greg Steele making a super play on that onside kick.
Greg Steele simply covered the ball, if you would, kept it from fluttering.
He didn't try to do anything fancy with it. He just tried to catch it and get down on the ground.
That's exactly what he did do, and the Wildcats will have the football at midfield. Great field position for them.
1st and 10 from the 50-yard line.
Warwick Vaughn's the quarterback for the Temple Wildcats. Or is it Justin Lee? You're right, Justin Lee. Hands off to Neville Malone. Malone will get down to near the 46-yard line.
Good surge by the offensive line for the Wildcats.
Number 30, Neville Malone. Tackle made on the play by number 78, Brandon Johnson.
Justin Lee is a junior. Warwick Vaughn's is a junior. 2 outstanding quarterbacks who will do battle with each other for the starting quarterback's role next year. Lee to Malone. Malone picking his way. He'll not have a first down, but they will spot the ball on the Round Rock Dragon 42-yard line, make it the 43. 3rd down and 3. The clock is still ticking with 4:21 left. Nothing fancy, and the Temple Wildcats are doing as much as they can to eat up the clock. Lee on a reverse hands-off to, I could not see his number there.
I think it was 31, Darrell Smith.
You've got better eyes than I do, Mark. That'll bring up a 4th down situation. They're going to punt the football. 4th and about 4. Spotted the ball on about the 44-yard line of Round Rock.
4th down and 4 from the 44.
Dante Williams and Lewis Edwards back deep to receive for the Dragons.
So Richard Mata will punt. Gordon, I'm not sure how many punts this is for him. Taken on about the 8-yard line by Round Rock, and that's about as far as he's going to get. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this only the 3rd? Yeah, the 3rd punt by the Temple Wildcats all night long.
Again, great coverage by the Wildcat specialty teams.
Coach Bob McQueen in search of and close to, correct me on his career wins, 220?
Well,
it's very close.
Very close to that. I believe I had 219 coming into tonight, so this would be his 220th win.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 220 wins. Travis Sherpick back to pass. Got a man open, but he overthrows him. Tried to hit Danny Peoples that time. You know, Peoples, who was a returning starter, was not as big a factor in this game tonight for Coach Inez Perez as the scouts had anticipated.
Well, that's because Coach Perez decided that his presence was needed more on defense than it was on offense. So in that regard, I'm sure he was a factor. He was not a factor carrying the football because this is the first opportunity he's had to play offense tonight, but he's been pounding it out on the defensive side of the ball tonight.
2nd and 10. Draw play right up the middle. And that might have been Peoples again on the call.
Number 32, Barrett Eaton. Tackle made on the play by Richard.
No, it was Barrett Eaton who got the call, 166-pound junior. Clock ticking down now with 2:28 left in the game.
3rd down.
3rd down. 7 to go. Receivers split out wide on both sides for the Dragons. Sherpick looking, has all day, will keep it, and he's going to be dragged down for a loss.
Clarence Marion was in there, and we'll try to see. It might have been
Stephen Thompson, number 85.
Sherpick sacked on the play by number 85, Stephen Thompson.
And that sack is going to force a punt by the Dragons, and they'll have to punt it from the back of their end zone, so to speak. Ball is spotted on about the 7-yard line.
Deep for Temple, number 18, Darren Bates, and number 48, Damian Johnson.
And if you are a Temple Wildcat fan, you're going to go home tonight very happy indeed. As we see Armand Ramirez gets a pretty good punt out to midfield. It's going to bounce back and be killed immediately at the 49-yard line. Good punt, no return. So the Wildcats have it at midfield with 1:11 left in this football game. They lead 55-22 over the Round Rock Dragons. And once more, Round Rock feels the wrath of the Temple Wildcats. And you know, you got to be frustrated if you're from Round Rock. They can't seem to get out from underneath the clutches of Coach Bob McQueen's teams. Neville Malone on the handoff.
Ball carrier is number 30.
And I don't know what the series record is between these two teams, but clearly the dominance factor is with the Wildcats.
Well, they've played each other the past 14 years in district competition, and Temple has won 12 out of the 14, but Coach Perez won in 1988 and 1990.
Neville Malone, no, a keeper around the left side, and he's going to be dragged out of bounds. Warwick Fawns on a keeper around the left side. That'll stop the clock with 29 seconds.
Well, the Wildcats have won themselves a pass to round 2. Which is what they wanted to get done tonight, and they'll face an explosive team next week. Should be a great ball game.
First and 10, the 34.
They picked up a first down on that play. Neville Malone on the handoff, gets inside the 30.
Number 30, Neville Malone.
That very well may be the last play of the ball game.
Tackle made by number 86.
I think that's exactly what they'll do. I think they'll let the clock run out with 13 seconds and counting. So the Temple Wildcats now go to round 2 of the high school playoffs with a convincing 55-22 victory over the Round Rock Dragons. And that's it. They're by district champions.